Well Together podcast. Welcome to Well Together podcast. In each episode, inspiring conversations from wellness experts will guide you towards a better life. If you are ready, let's start our healthy life journey. In this episode,
In this exciting episode, we find ourselves at the LifeCo Bodrum, where we are delighted to welcome Gonca Yarımer, the esteemed wellness director of LifeCo programs. We hope that this enriching conversation on all aspects of sleep will provide you valuable insights to apply in your own life.
Hello, this is Mert. Today we have an esteemed guest. We are with beautiful Gonca. Hello, Gonca.
Hi Mert and hi everyone. I am the wellness director of LifeCo programs. I've been with the family for over 8 years actually. It's almost 9 years and happily working ever.
Today our episode is about sleep. I don't want to go too technical, but I know that you have done some studies and research about this particular subject of sleep. And sometimes we hear things like deep sleep, maybe shallow sleep, REM. Can you describe for the audience what does these terms mean?
It is a bit, it looks confusing, but actually I will make it as simple as I can so we can all understand and remember what it was. We have two parts of the sleep. One is REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement, and as you can understand from the name, it is the active stage. Our eyes are continuously moving, so you can understand if someone else is, if you're the one who's awake, if you look at someone, you can understand if that person is in REM or not, because the eyes would be moving rapidly, and that is the active stage. This is the phase of that we have dreams. It just starts with the 10 minutes and it continues to increase up to even 45 minutes, and then it can even go up. So in that stage, actually, the brain is very active, and then many activities happening, which I can mention a bit later. The other one is non-REM. This is the first stage of the sleep. So when we just fall into sleep, the very first stage is non-REM, and it has three different stages: the light one, deep one, and the deepest one, and then the REM starts. What happens in that non-REM sleep is, this is the relaxing and restoring stage. The blood pressure, heart rhythm, everything slows down. Body goes into a deep rest. So that three phases from light to deep cycle will continue all night long. So after these three stages of the sleep, and then it goes to REM, and then it goes back to non-REM the whole night. And it is a quite important part of the sleep, because then everything is getting into this deep rejuvenation and repairment. And if we don't get deep sleep, then we will feel completely not rested, with an anxiety, tired, and not repaired, not rejuvenated at all. So most of the times we might just think like, oh wow, look, I've slept 6 hours, 8 hours. But if you're not in that deep sleep, actually, you can't really talk about the quality sleep, because then you're not really resting and restoring.
Maybe I can make a small addition for the audience. Essentially, we have the tendency to believe that we need to sleep because our body needs to rest. But this is not really true, because when we are sleeping, what happens actually is like all the toxicity as a result of us all day being active, thinking, talking, living the day, etc. This creates some kind of toxic accumulation within our whole system, including the brain itself. So I want to open a new topic for us, Gonca. How today's environment and fast-paced lifestyle and everything is taking us away from our sleeping patterns.
Well, here's the thing. We don't sleep according to our circadian rhythm. It's our biological inner clock, the cycling between the sunrise and the sunset, right? And which it's quite understandable that we're not going to go to bed after sunset at this time. But then again, I can easily say that this is a huge excuse that we are using because we have time for each and everything except sleep. We're so afraid of being hungry. If we skip one meal, oh my God, it's a big deal. All day I didn't even drink coffee, I didn't eat anything. And then you get just big anxiety and discomfort and worry. Then again, when you stay up for like 10 hours, or if you don't have a good sleep, if you skip your sleep, you don't really get worried, that much worried. So we're full of fear of staying hungry, but we don't have the same amount of fear and respect for the sleep because we just don't know how important is that. We might have an idea, but we don't exactly know, like no. Because if we knew it, probably we would act in completely different. Like if I knew the things that I knew right now, like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, definitely, if I knew that this is the most anti-aging product that I can ever have in my life, then as a woman who is worried about aging and having more wrinkles and then losing your elasticity and the collagen, I would definitely invest a big amount of time and energy to my sleep, which is uncomparable, right? So right now, like today's lifestyle is definitely pushing you to stay up late because they put all those TV serials and the big TV shows in the very late hours, and the entertaining life, business life, family life, social life, work life, everything is all delayed. So the day doesn't end at the time that it's supposed to end. And we normalize it already. So if someone wants to go to sleep around 9 or 10 o'clock, our question is like, oh wow, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Yes.
So
are
that
you a
is,
chicken, right?
Yeah, like what's going on? Oh, like a big grandma, you're going to sleep, right? So that is the biggest thing. I think the society, the community is already accepted to go to bed very late and then just like being okay with few hours at night. We don't have to discover many things from the scratch again. It's been already there. Sleep is a medicine. We have to just register it that way. Sleep is a medicine. It's about how much you need that medicine, how much you respect that medicine, how much you know about that medicine. Your knowledge, your wisdom, your approach might be different, but it's not going to change what actually sleep is carrying as a value. So, like I said, it's all about the community. If people start staying up late, you just normalize it and you keep doing the same thing actually. Here's the most important thing. It just makes us feel like, oh my God, if you go to sleep, we're going to miss a lot of things. I have so many things to do. Day is not even enough for me. So if I sleep like 7 or 8 hours, I will miss a lot. But we are just skipping one thing. Without having a quality and enough sleep, then our potential, that could be physical potential, mental, spiritual, emotional potential, is not the same thing. So whatever you're doing in the daytime, maybe you have to read the same thing for 5 times, maybe you have to listen to the same thing for 3 times, maybe you have to pull yourself with lots of effort, pull your energy back. So while you're thinking that you're missing something in your sleep, actually, if you had a good sleep, you're going to put less amount of time, effort, money maybe, with whatever you're trying to do to be functional and in a better way. As we see it that way, we will not really feel bad that we're missing something. That amount of time that you are spending in the sleep is defining how quality your next day is going to be. It's just that simple. I want to give you one very clear example, especially for the brain. What happens in the sleep is it is just restoring everything. We have specific brain cells, which is called glia, and the cells are shrinking itself and getting through a deep cleansing, which is called brainwashing actually, brain cleansing, brainwashing. How else you're going to do that? Never actually. It's only going to happen in your brain. When we have a good quality sleep, it is really supporting the brain. And we do need our brain. You know, without that, everything is going to be a big mess. So what happens actually in that REM sleep is sorting and filtering all those new informations. It's erasing and cleansing up all those unnecessary informations that you have to get rid of it, putting the new ones, recalling and registering and nailing down the new information, new talent, new skills. It's categorizing everything, it's dividing, it works like a librarian, matching all those information, making everything ready for the next day. If you don't really get a good quality sleep, everything is like a mess in the house. So you become completely ready to be able to function as an intelligent human being for the next day. If you don't do that, which is called like kind of foggy head, foggy brain, confused, having a hard time to focus on something, keep forgetting many things, especially the short time memory, like what did I say right now, where did I put my phone, what happened to that email, did I send it, which has nothing to do with your intelligence level. It is just completely about how your information is being piled up and folded in your brain. So everything is all happening in your good quality sleep, and as you skip that in a consecutive way, and we don't really feel active and clear in our brain, then we try to support it with other things like caffeine, like sugar, some kind of energy drinks, and many other things which is going to be not supporting our brain functions at all. These are the short-term end results. Actually, for the long run, we are talking about more important problems like the early Alzheimer's, the dementia, Parkinson's disease, and many others actually. So we go better to understand what a big, ancient and incredible medicine sleep is.
Gonca, I also want to contribute a little bit from a parent perspective. Imagine we have now a 5-year-old boy and he used to watch some TV. Okay, so he would go to bed at 10 or 11 and then we cut the TV off and he started to go to sleep when the sun goes down. Like you said, his body, he is mindful from birth. He's a small kid. So he knows when to go to bed. Mm-hmm. But then, as his parents, we realized we were pushing him to stay later up. We wanted him to not wake up very early and ruin our beautiful morning. But then, we did a few episodes on mindfulness as well. Then I started thinking, how can I break this cycle? And then I said, what happens if I wake up at 5 a.m.? And then I started trying it.
It's great for you. Great for you.
It was wonderful because I went to bed at 10 with my boy. I slept my 7 hours. He sleeps like maybe 9 or 10 hours almost. But then in the morning time from 5 to 8, I actually made an extra 3 hours for my life because I was able to work, exercise a little bit, and then this 3 hours I added to my quality time with my son. Yeah. And then my friends ask, how can you wake up at 5? It's stupid. I wake up at 10. Then I ask him, when do you go to bed? He says, 3 a.m. So you slept 7 hours, I slept 7 hours.
But it's not the same 7 hours.
Yeah, my 7 hours is better, I think.
Of course. This is most important thing. Thank you for reminding me that people can easily adjust themselves. They're like, yeah, but I slept even 9 hours or 10 hours. First of all, as a healthy adult, sleeping 10 hours, sleeping more than 9 hours, it's not something to brag about. Don't. So because it's not good. That will definitely indicate some kind of unhealthy condition that you are having. Unless you're pregnant, unless you are suffering from a big disease like the chronic diseases, or you just got out of the hospital. These are different stages. Other than that, 7 to 8 hours completely fine for you. But which 7 or 8 hours that we are talking about? Okay, if you go to bed at 3 o'clock and then wake up at 10, 11, of course it has nothing to do with the sleep that you go to sleep at 10 p.m. and then wake up at 5 or 6 is completely different. Why? Because in that time, especially this period between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the time that your all hormones are being regulated. All functional life vital hormones. That is from male and female hormones to stress hormones to hunger hormones to thyroid hormones, growth hormone. Everything is all being regulated in that time. So if you skip that time, you're not really getting a quality sleep. You're just physically resting your body. You are resting your body, yes, but you're not really getting a quality sleep. So the time that you're sleeping time frame is very important. That's why if you look at it as a medicine, at least a day or 2 days or 3 days of the week. Even if you don't like the idea, just go to bed in that time and do certain right things, and it's going to take only up to 3 weeks to adjust your body, because your body is already designed for that. You are the one who's breaking the whole journey actually. So it's just going to go back to its own original setup, the settings, very easily, much easier than you can ever think. So it's a bit boring maybe, but the earnings is too much. So those hormones are completely affecting your general well-being, aging process, and your health, because everything is just leading to shifted position, including chronic diseases, early aging, and mental problems that is affecting our social life at the same time, right?
Let me say my final words, then I will ask you for your final remarks. How I measure a person's success in the last couple of years is if this person is able to sleep when they want to. So this is one thing that helped me a lot, because if I'm able to sleep, that means I am done for the day. I have done everything I had to do for this day, so I can have a peaceful, beautiful sleep. So this gives me a signal, a feedback, self-feedback, to notice if that day was a success for me. So Gonca, what do you want to say to our audience?
Oh God, if it comes to sleep, I have lots of millions of things to say, definitely. But before I wrap it up, I just want to say that women should be a bit more careful comparing to men. Because if you look at the numbers, the studies or the research is just showing that the amount of women who suffering from insomnia is way higher, like almost 30% higher than men. And that says a lot actually. There are a lot of different reasons for that. But besides that, definitely for women, especially for the menopausal times, they should be more aware that it is going to hit and sleep deprivation will be waiting for them. The next thing I would definitely say, please try to stay in complete dark. This is the most important things. This is how you produce melatonin, which is our sleeping hormone, the darkness hormone, the nickname of that, and it's also a great, beautiful immunity hormone at the same time. So anything, including moonlight, is not a great idea, even if it's too romantic. Okay, complete darkness is going to help you a lot. Try to go to bed at the same time, have a routine, but for those who cannot do it right now, at least in the daytime, have a good amount of sun, especially between 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Have a good amount of sunlight, so it is going to help you to produce, again, good amount of melatonin while you're in your sleep. And the temperature is another thing. If it's too hot or too cold, it's going to affect your sleep as well, even in your room. Basically, few things I can definitely remind. The Wi-Fi is just being a big crash down. Okay, Wi-Fi is just completely creating disruption in our body and keeping us completely awake. So please turn your Wi-Fi's off in your sleeping room. And the second thing is definitely stay away from the phone at least 30 minutes before your sleep, because blue light is completely disturbing our hormones. If you are one of those people who cannot really stay without those little night lamps, then make sure that it's not blue, it's not green, it's orange or red light, because it's going to affect and disturb your hormone balance less than the blue colors. And two more important things. If you're one of those people who's waking up in the middle of the night and drinking water, that means you did not drink enough amount of water in your daily routine. So your body is waking you up for water. If you're waking up and then you go to toilet, that means you did the opposite mistake. You drank a lot of water, especially like right before you go to sleep. that is just keeping you awake, and it's disturbing your sleep at the same time. So drinking liquid right before the sleep is not a good idea. So it's not about how many hours we are sleeping, it's about when we are sleeping. How we are sleeping is as important as how much time that we are sleeping. And try to sleep, go to bed before midnight, not maybe 10 p.m. okay, but before midnight, and try to leave your phone off 30 minutes ago. The rest is fine, and make your room dark, and then see what's happening next day. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of benefits.
Thank you very much, Gonca, for joining us at this episode of Well Together podcast. Well Together podcast is powered by TheLifeCo. I know TheLifeCo has invested a lot in quality sleep for everyone. So in some of upcoming episodes, maybe you can talk about what TheLifeCo has done in that regard. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening to us, and hope to meet you again in the upcoming episodes. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Have a good sleep tonight.
Well Together podcast. Inspiring stories from the LifeCo.
Let's meet one of our guests, Tamara Gabani. Before joining the LifeCo treatments, she was suffering from sleep deprivation. It's worth listening to her story to find out what happened next.
Hi, I'm Tamara Gabani, and I'm a luxury influencer, and I'm based between Riyadh and Dubai. I actually found out about the LifeCo through a friend of mine that had been to the one in Bodrum, and he said it was one of the best detoxes he's ever been to. I came to the LifeCo because since April, May 2020, I had developed many food allergies, bloating, digestive issues, acne. It was like a whole array of things that had been triggered by the shock of Corona and being displaced during Corona. And I really believe in holistic well-being and healing naturally. So I've been on that journey till now, but I really feel like I needed a reset. So that's why I came. In the first few days were a little bit difficult. I wasn't really sleeping because I hadn't slept for weeks before I got here. Then day by day, even though the detox was a bit challenging, my sleep got better. In terms of my energy levels, when I got here, I feel like I had very high cortisol. So I was like very, very anxious. I couldn't sleep. And then what happened was that slowly started to subside, and I started to sleep really, really well. Like the last few nights, I've slept 9 to 10 hours throughout the night without waking up, which I haven't experienced in a really long time. So that feels so good. And my mood improved. I think because I was so supported by the team here and the friends that I'd made here, I just started to feel more and more positive.
Well Together podcast.
Experience the sleep and wellness rooms by the LifeCo. Despite spending about 1/3 of our lives sleeping, many people struggle to achieve restful and rejuvenating sleep. To help establish better sleep habits, increase energy levels, and improve overall well-being, the LifeCo created sleep and wellness rooms. Available now at the LifeCo Bodrum to enhance your retreat experience and at selected hotels to support your travels. To learn more about sleep and wellness rooms, visit thelifeco.com.
Next episode of the Well Together podcast.
Cancer-free living. How to eliminate inflammation, toxins, and other risk factors.
Thank you for listening Well Together podcast.